Okay. Hello, Florian. I think we are live.
Hello.
So welcome to another special episode of GrowthBay Radio. We are talking today to Florian Laudahn, who is the CMO of Farmy.ch, and Farmy.ch is a online grocery store with products from local farmers and producers, and currently operating here in Switzerland. And they've seen unprecedented growth now since the past couple of weeks, since the whole crisis situation started. And welcome, Florian. Thanks a lot for your time and taking the time to talk about the current situation and how Farmy is experiencing it.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. So basically, I would like to start with a bit of the timeline and how it all unfolded for Farmy. As I mentioned before, I mean, it's a bit of a special situation compared to some other companies. I mean, you grew quite exponentially, as you also told me before. Can you take us a bit back to how it all started, or when it all started? How did it unfold, the whole thing for Farmy until today, and talk a bit about the challenges and the opportunities as well?
Yes, of course. So, we are providing online groceries. We are always focusing on self-sustainability, but also on seasonality. We have, like many businesses in online, we have peak months and times, and usually the first quarter is not the most exciting quarter of the year. Let's put it like this. We started recognizing an increase in sales right after the Skiferien, so the winter holidays in Switzerland, where we also saw that AOVs partially started increasing, and we are asking ourselves, so is it already this Corona thing? You know, there's something happening in Asia, and okay, they're starting to report things in Italy, so maybe this is it. I don't know. It's, you know, we're doing good. If you ask the CMO why is sales increasing, the first answer is because my team rocks. You know, it's
right.
we're just awesome.
Yes,
and we
exactly.
have a great product, and then it was around the second week of March. The first huge peak was on March 13, I think, if I remember correctly, and then we had suddenly a huge explosion in traffic, especially in direct traffic, in organic traffic. Brand traffic increased like crazy, and in the online campaigns around online food, online grocery shopping, get your food delivered, just skyrocketed from one moment to the other. And then we really realized that there is this Corona thing hit us. So we had this increase in traffic, in conversions, in campaigns where we normally are not that or where we are not spending much. You know, we are still a small company, we are constantly growing, but we are competing with the shop and corporate home with other budgets. So my brand spendings in especially in performance marketing are rather low, and suddenly these campaigns exploded, and yeah. Then of course we had something like the first crisis meeting and talking about the results for operations, because normally the first challenge for us as a company is, of course, marketing, is customer acquisition, is bringing our concept to the Swiss people, because in comparison to other countries in Europe and the world, is online grocery is a growing thing, but it's still not many people are doing it or even tried it. So we are always keen on letting these people know that we are there and that our service is great, that the products are fresher, and, you know, talking about our USPs. And suddenly it just snapped, and people came requesting our service, and marketing was not the issue. Now it was really getting these products delivered, getting all the products from our producer. Of course, the first feelings we had is how can we continue providing the service we have, because we were always very proud on our low failure rate, very proud on our service. We are plus minus 15 minutes on point when we deliver, especially in our core zones in the city, Zurich, Lausanne, Geneva. And we had to keep on this excellence. And this was the first time that we had such a stress on the system, but luckily it came out that that operations was not our issue. So our team was so well prepared. All the people suddenly, not suddenly, or directly adjusted their work to the incoming flow. We had people from marketing working in customer care. People were coming back from vacation. Everybody was asking, how can we help? How can we succeed? Of course, hours went up for everyone. For us in marketing, it was because of the request from press, like I previously told you. And of course, keeping the system alive for IT, it was keeping the system alive, coping with all these visits. We recognized that some competitors had issues with their websites. Main competitor websites were down. But we were still up. And so all this preparation we had, because as a startup, we are always prepared for growth. This is what we are. We are there to scale. And we just saw that every single preparation of the past month and years just made up like perfectly. And that was this whole situation was, of course, stressful, but is still stressful. But it showed that our system works, and we are constantly increasing staff. We are onboarding new people that directly can adjust in operations, in especially couriers and pickers, packers in the warehouse, and all this unfolds and works. And since then, our website was not down. Of course, we are booked out way until April. Maybe we come to this later. But still, we are there, we are running, we are serving a huge amount of new customers. Like I told you, numbers are increasing like 4, 5, even 6 times. In Lausanne, we had a day where we made the turnover or the revenue of 2 weeks on a single day.
Yeah.
And last week we had a day where we made a normal day's revenue in Zurich, a good day's revenue in 1 hour. You know, it was really, crazy, but still we are there. The team is performing very well there. Everybody's doing a great job, and this whole we feeling is fantastic at the moment.
This is actually, I mean, I'm really interested about the human aspect of this, because first of all, let's maybe start with the employees. I mean, how do you deal with the different or the increased demand now? I mean, how do employees, you touched a bit about on it. How did you communicate with them? How did maybe the frequency change of communication? Do you have some kind of war room where you talk about this kind of stuff a lot? Or what has changed, and how do you maybe also mitigate some worries that employees have, or you also talked about shifting resources and stuff like that?
So first of all, it's like in every good company, communication. Our first communication channel is Slack. It was before, and it is still. So everybody in our team, in operations, in marketing, in IT, has access to the same communication channel. We don't write internal emails this much. We have a quarterly newsletter for the team, but all the important communication is in Slack. Of course, the number of calls increased, and the number of telephone calls we had with several parts of the teams. But it's like I already said, we are a very familiar team. So we didn't have an issue with getting all the people to work. They were already there. Everybody just reacted and started working. But of course, we have daily calls, daily chat updates regarding delivery slot, team status, hiring, I was setting up, it's like many people might have seen, I'm setting up new job postings regularly, and the others are too. So people had to really focus on the new members we hired, but it's communication is important, but happening as before, regularly, daily. And of course, we are asking employees directly if they're feeling well. You know, we had these like every company in food had these hygiene communications. We are selling food, so hygiene was always the highest priority of all. But still, you know, everybody now is wearing masks, how to behave. We created external meetings. We didn't have an issue with hand sanitizers, of course, and stuff like that. We had that. We have issues like all others have to get more and more, but still they were already there. But you know, schooling, especially the new people and everything, just the number increased, but the process didn't change. Process was the same. And then we try to connect to the team always around the food times, for example. So even though we now have to keep the distance in the hubs, this 1.5 or 2 meters or what it is, we still keep up team lunch. We even hired a chef in Zurich for all the people in the warehouse, so that nobody has to take care for preparing food.
Awesome.
And yeah, keeping the team happy, keeping the stuff equivalent to the growth is a priority, but just, frequency increased, but the process was the same.
I mean, I think it's quite remarkable, actually. Also, I think this has to be said. I mean, experiencing quadrupled or even more growth and having such a stress test on systems and being able to scale the process like that, I think you guys can be proud of yourselves.
Team cheering is a huge part of our job, especially in marketing at the moment. Not only externally, when you just said, like all the other companies as well said, thank you to all the workers in the warehouse that don't get this much visibility during our normal campaigns, but also internally. You know, it's especially me as a CMO. I can try to do the best marketing possible together with my team, of course, but I just have to rely on the detail-loving, perfectly running processes in operations. I have to rely on the couriers, that they are always friendly, keep taking care of our customers. I have to trust IT, and this trust is growing and growing. They are all doing such a great job. I just, you know, currently I'm leaning back and try to channel all the incoming orders and visits, and everybody is just performing so awesome that it's cheering all the day is what I do.
Yeah, you mentioned before, I mean, we talked before we started recording, we talked a bit about this creativity aspect that a lot of people are currently experiencing. Now, obviously, with Farmy might be a bit different because it's, as you said, it's like more work instead of less, or maybe being able to take 2 steps back. But you still said, I mean, you know, you have like less time to actually oversee everything. So your employees have have to take over certain roles and do it by themselves, and maybe experiencing some of that creativity boost.
Exactly. So we are managing our work in Jira and in Confluence. So looking over everything is not making part of every single element of marketing is currently not really possible for me. So I split it, our resources, to like 60% on really current things like PR, communication with customers, analyzing all the customer feedback, and providing best service for the people coming to us at the moment, new customers, and of course our loyal customers. And then I had 40% of the resources focusing on Q3, because there will be a time after the crisis.
Right.
I've shut down acquisition like totally. Performance marketing is off. We are not spending any budget there at the moment. So our performance marketing manager can focus on checking all our ads, all the landing pages. Our conversion rate optimization manager is writing about 30, 40 test scenarios a day. We are focusing on a possible redesign. So these people are really now taking all the feedback we have from the tools we use. We have Typeform surveys. We are using Hotjar. We are deeply connected currently in customer care. Part of my team also help in customer care, not only to take pressure from their shoulders, because these people are part of the real heroes we have at the moment. You can imagine how many people are calling, are writing emails, and have questions. So of course my team's trying to help there, but also really being in touch with the customer and understanding what they need, what they desire is currently very helpful for us to prepare, let's say, an even better Farmy experience after the crisis, so that we get all the feedback we didn't get in this high frequency before.
Right. I mean, you get a lot more data, you get a lot more feedback, which will help you make the product better in the future. So you kind of have these two things. You have like the crisis mode, and then, okay, how can we think about the next phase of this? Because it's going to be over at some point, right?
Yeah. So for us as a business, we are relying on our loyal customers. So we are not selling shoes or computers or something. We want to provide a regular weekly grocery, and therefore loyal customers are very important. So when we now say that we have 5-6 times more new customers a week, all of these new customers have to be onboarded perfectly. They have to find everything they need. Questions need to be answered even faster than before, so that the cohorts stay stable, because our retention cohorts are another thing we are very proud of. So this has to continue, and on the other side we have to provide best service for our loyal customers, because demand increases like crazy. We were booked out until the mid of April yesterday, but then developing new features and constantly new features for loyal customers and other groups is also a big thing we are currently working on.
I think you just touched a really important topic, because there is a couple of groups of companies that are that are seeing growth during the crisis, and the top. I mean, so for example, you have certain SaaS tools that now have free tiers, and they get a huge influx of new users. But talking about retention is a big part, right? I mean, you mentioned in the beginning, before we recorded this, you now have new segments that maybe you have new value propositions that you need to touch with them. So you maybe have new cohorts probably, and then also like I would like to talk a bit about that, and then also what is your retention strategy? I mean, how do you think about keeping this influx of people that are now getting their first experiences with online groceries? Yeah, can you talk a bit about those two topics?
So yeah, like you said, currently people are coming to our website that are trying out online groceries for the first time. They never did before. The crisis is increasing the need of companies like us delivering food and everything. One interesting thing that really surprised me was, when reports started that people are buying toilet paper like crazy, and pasta and tomato sauce and everything like that. My first inner fear was, oh no, when now these people come to us and order this stuff, focus on this stuff, what happens after the crisis? Because we are a freshness provider. We are very proud of our freshness. Our one of our main USPs is the freshness, because we take the products or we source the product directly from the producers, and we don't store fresh food, and our food is fresher than in the supermarket because of the direct connection. So this is what I'm selling. And now thinking of people just ordering toilet paper and tomato sauce, what we have, because we offer everything. But that was really like, no, because when the crisis is over, what happens then? And then we took a closer look into the data, and we saw that every category sales was really increasing in nearly the same manner. Of course, we had a slightly more impact on the pantry sector,
toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
Yeah.
But then in connection to us, it's these Hamsterkäufe, this hoarding is not really possible at Farmy, because we were always limiting the number of SKUs people can put in their basket. So hoarding was not happening. And surprisingly and luckily, people really came to our website and saw our value proposition and directly adapted. People starting ordering fresh, or not starting, the new customers directly start ordering fresh products, ordering milk, cheese, of course, especially the local food. We are not only offering local producers, but it's mainly sustainable food and authentic food. But the increase in Swiss products, Swiss fresh products, was remarkably to see. So this was a relief for me. And so we now have these segments. Our main target group was usually between 30 and 45. We have many 50 plus customers as well, but we are focusing on the 30 to 45, like I am, with family, with kids, or busy in the job with not enough time to buy offline. And now there are people coming that not really match these patterns, but directly adapted to the shopping process we offer. And of course, now we need to give these people more information, because in the past, before the crisis, people had a special mindset. When you come to Farmy, you are open to local food, you're open to the topics of sustainability, of course, then CO2 emissions, which is something we really work on, to reduce CO2 emissions, work with electrical cars and stuff like that. So there is a mindset needed, or at least an interest needed in these topics. And now many customers that I cannot look into their heads, but they were not so focused on these topics, but they saw our products, and now onboarding them with special emails, with special welcome emails, letters, and whatsoever, guiding them to the process and keeping them in our system, in our family, how we say that, is one thing. And then on the other hand is constantly working on the returning customer calls, loyal customers, because like I said, regular, weekly, every second week grocery is our main goal. So one of the things we had to face was, of course, that due to this high demand, slots were fully booked. And usually people order today and get their food tomorrow, or order on Thursday and get it on Saturday. And suddenly they could order, but for Saturday in 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, or even 4 weeks, which was not what we are normally up to. So then, of course, we had complaints from returning customers, which I for example, took quite personally, because they were right. They were helping us at the start and were really, really standing behind us and helping us to succeed. And now we weren't able to provide the same short time frames to orders, and their habits had to change. And this was nothing we wanted. So our IT team worked really hard on a solution, which we luckily will launch today, that we can reserve now some slots for returning customers, offering them special slots so that they can still continue to order with us without hindering the new customers, of course. But it's a special slot amount for returning customers. And then another cohort we have, it's in the media all the time. We have this risk group of people. We have elderly people Like I told you, one of our oldest clients is in the 90s, and she's ordering with her granddaughter, for example.
Yeah.
And people that are not allowed to leave the home, or people that can't leave their home because people helping them are not there. And this was also something we had to work on, and just to face this time frame, because when people complain, I always understand it, and it's always from an inner need they have and a frustration they have when the service cannot be provided. But we are talking about a bit more than a week now. It's 1.5 weeks, and there was nothing like a reservation feature. There was nothing like a check process for people in need. But from today on, we have that, and our IT team and of course operations made it possible in such a short time frame. And now we can we will publish today a process where people in need that have, I don't know, disabilities or are in the elderly group can send us a proof and a secure email address that they are in need, and then we can check them and we can give them special slots as well. This was nothing which was part of our business model, but now has been developed in such a time frame and will be launched today. And these are the daily challenges we have to fight, because we are nothing without regular customers, and we are nothing if we can only serve in the crisis. We have to be prepared for afterwards and show everybody that we are still there. One of our banners we just launched in the past week is "We are there for you," like many other companies did. So this is something we take really serious, and we had to deliver very fast.
This is just the last thing you mentioned is kind of brings me to the topic of this profiting off of a crisis, right? I mean, so we talked about, you see unprecedented growth, you are able to start hiring more employees, you're starting able to grow the business. What do you say, if people tell you like, yeah, okay, but you're just profiting, and now you keep everything for yourself, and that's how you grow. I mean, it's not basically you didn't do anything in order to have this growth, right? I mean, I am now being devil's advocate, but how do you respond to that, and what are your thoughts around that? How you can maybe also give back from this influx of new customers and ultimately also cash.
So of course we are embracing increasing revenue, like every startup in our position would do. It would be a lie if we would say that we don't embrace the growth we have. But on the other hand, responsibility was always part of our service. So we always grew sustainable. We grew with our producers. We grew with our team. It was always a core of our DNA, of our company DNA. So if somebody would ask me something like that, I would directly say that we will always be prepared to take over responsibility for our team, for our producers. Especially our producers are growing with us from the beginning. There were many of them didn't have any digital channel to sell their products. Some of them learned how to use email together with us, and there are producers that had, I don't know, small businesses and now are growing and growing and growing together with us. And the more we grew, the bigger the companies and producers contacting us we had. But still we kept our system. Of course we connected to many other businesses, but we never forgot where we came from. We always really took it serious that we have responsibility. And like I said, the features we were launching just today, and this is a lucky incident to talk about it, but it's really we made it up last Friday, and now this feature is already live. Is part of the communication. If we would just take the revenue no matter what it takes, we could close after 3 months when the crisis hopefully will be over for all the people suffering from it. We are also hiring many new people that come from businesses that had to close down. We are hiring people from hospitality. We are hiring people from the event sector, even from construction works and whatsoever. So we are offering jobs to people that don't have a job in the crisis. And as I said, the numbers currently show that for us, it's not a crisis business. It's just an extreme speed increase in growth. And we are really focused on keeping this growth and keeping the customers, embracing the customers, the new employees we have. So we are not preparing just for a crisis. We are preparing to keep the level up after the crisis and offering a service that's currently needed from us as a startup. I'm part of the C-level. Of course, Farmy was always needed. And when I'm in Switzerland, I always eat Farmy food. I don't eat anything else. We always were really confident that our service is something the Swiss people need. Now the crisis just underlines it, that delivering food is a good thing. It's a good thing. And so we are not really just earning. We are trying to give back and keep it up like that.
How do you actually see the trend? I mean, how are you and your team thinking about the future of online groceries? I mean, how much of it is going to stick? I mean, how much are now the habits actually changing towards online groceries? You mentioned, and that I think is a good thing. I mean, you mentioned people are not only buying how do you call this category? Pantry.
Yeah.
Pantry. Not only pantry items, but they're actually behaving like they would go to a grocery store and then actually buy there, if I understood you correctly.
Yeah.
And so how do you see that after the crisis? So maybe how do you see that right after the crisis, and then how do you see that in let's say 1 or 2 years?
So hopefully in 1 or 2 years, we have, 20-30% of the Swiss population ordering food online, but that's fortune telling. Of course, not 100% of all the people coming to us in the crisis will stick to us. I see it like that. It always starts with a need, like in every business. So the current need of many new customers that didn't even think about us before was, where can I get the food I know, the kind of food I know, and how can I stay safe? So these people now landed on our website because there are only three businesses, for example, in Zurich offering that, right. And we are one of them. And then they realized how fast and easy it is. So when there's also a fun part of shopping in the supermarket. It's like that. When I talk to my wife, she loves it to go to the supermarket, but having a service that delivers you, even in most cases, better quality, fresher food, you do something for the local producers, you get a good feeling to help other businesses, and then you can do everything on your couch. And especially in these days where the schools are closed, I have my kids here at home as well, not today to record, but it's busy. It's work plus 110%. It's stressful. So having the possibility in times of stress, now it's the crisis, after the crisis is maybe the job, the family life, whatsoever, and having a service delivering the food in the same and better quality is something people will definitely remember. And it's our job now to show them all the possibilities the system offers. So I think that one of our investors, the Dominik Locher, the former CEO of Le Shop, just said in an interview that it may not be a breakthrough, but it's a big plus to the whole industry. This e-food, e-grocery will definitely be bigger after the crisis, because people are, due to the unhappy circumstances of this corona crisis, have to look for other solutions. So it is something like an new acquisition channel for us, not in terms of our own business, but for the whole industry. People have to focus on something they didn't have before, because in Switzerland there's a Coop and a Migros at every corner, and a Denner and Aldi and Lidl and all the others.
Right.
We see them everywhere. So now this big plus of the offline grocery sellers is not there at the moment, and the industry is well prepared. So I think that Coop at Home and Le Shop will also have their growth after the crisis. It's a big push for the industry worldwide.
For sure. And it's all, I mean, it's, even if, I think people will probably remember as well, I mean, even if it's a touch point and somebody, I mean, you have some exposure to how it could work. I mean, even if, let's say this, for example, happened to me, I wanted to order from Farmy, and then I saw, oh, it's about 2 weeks, so I couldn't. But I for example, I never did it before, to be honest, and so, but still, I mean, I got kind of the experience of like, okay, I mean, I'm kind of in an online grocery store, right? I mean, I'm like browsing around and I'm getting some suggestions and stuff like that. I did like a little Einkaufsliste, a shopping list. So for sure, I mean, people are getting this exposure, and then even if they say like, okay, most of the time I will go in physical stores, but oh, you know what? Today I'm sick. I'm actually ordering online. I can absolutely imagine that having a push, and then even if you can just keep 5 to 10% of what's currently going on, I mean, that's a huge added recurring revenue, right?
Oh, I would say that we can keep definitely more of these people. So it's one of the good things I directly recognized when I started at Farmy 3 years ago. So I'm not part of the founder team. Was that as soon as somebody got in contact with Farmy and ordered once, it's very, very likely that he'll order a second and a third time. It's really something, when people get to know us, they kind of easily fall in love with us.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, one of the main goals we have. We want to be part of the family. And so I would say that we'll keep more than 10%, way more. But let's see how it continues.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think that's a very important part, right? You're touching on. I mean, how well designed is this first kind of wow moment? I mean, when do I have this wow moment? Is it like when I first, basically, I don't know even how it works because I couldn't try it out. So if like I go, because I saw these little trucks. I mean, is it the first time I actually go there and then pick up my stuff? Where do you think is this moment where I'm like, oh, this was nice. You know, I'm going to do this again.
So from my point of view, it's the first delivery. So we do deliver directly. The small cars you mentioned are in our zone A, which is zone Zurich and around, and Lake Geneva, Lausanne, and Geneva. And this moment when you get your first delivery, when you see the extremely friendly courier that brings you the stuff, especially for kids, you know, our cars are cooping. When they open the door, you hear the sound of a chicken. And we have customers writing us that it's, especially for the kids, it's a very impressive moment. We had a story yesterday in Instagram where a customer said that her daughter felt like Christmas. It is unpacking new stuff. It's unpacking your grocery. This is the first wow moment. And then we, of course, keep on when people have questions, or this whole delivery process. For example, when the courier starts, you get a notification. When you can track the courier until he's there, like Uber does it, for example. So there's a map tracking. You can even increase your fun moment when you just wait for the courier, and afterwards it's customer care friendliness. We have special welcome letters, we have retention letters, we have really physical mailings people get, like letters once a month with free products for the returning customers. And this whole everything that happens after the first delivery is part of the wow experience, beside of course the first impression, how many products we have and where the producers come from. The producer is always visible. You can easily filter by organic and vegan and veggie. So this is also something we had to learn, that there are of course a growing number of vegetarian and vegan people in Switzerland, and they don't want to see meat or cheese in fact when they are vegan, which is kind of new for Switzerland, because the best Swiss food I know is meat and cheese and everything. But these people can go to the website and just pull a trigger, and then the whole shop is vegan for them, or vegetarian or organic and stuff like that. So we always try to adapt very fast to customer feedback and give them something they don't know from offline. You cannot just say in a Coop or Migo, okay, I'm vegan, put away the meat. I don't want to see it.
Right.
But you can at Farmy. That's what we offer. Your very special shopping experience, and at the end with this, wow, okay, I got the food. It tastes better. Many products really taste better. It's one of the things I always explain to new employees, for example. When you're talking about chicken, poulet, if you tasted one of our chicken, you never eat this plastic packed stuff from other supermarkets again. It's a difference. People knew before in the good old times. I'm 37, so I'm not that old, but it's a market experience, and everybody who was on a weekly market knows what I'm talking about. It's different. The process when you get the food from the market, it's different than what you get in a supermarket. And that's part of the experience.
How do you, since we talk about experience, how do you collect customer feedback, and how do you process customer feedback to actually know about these wow moments or taste profiles or this kind of stuff you talked about? What's your customer research process?
Okay, so we have many things there, starting, for example, that we have our own analytics solution. We saw that the standard analytics solution like Google Analytics whatsoever don't deliver enough insight for us. So the past year we spent many hours and weeks on internal data. We are working with neural net analysis. So we have manual segments, for example. We have automated segments that are, for example, this customer is most likely to buy wine because what he likes and what he has in his cart matches to another automated group we collected before. We have we are collecting customer feedback on the website using Hotjar. We are sending a survey after the first purchase, and then every fifth purchase that answers, from Net Promoter Score to how can we get better, and a wide range of questions. We have dedicated research campaigns where we ask, for example, app users on their feedback. We are doing focus groups regularly with dedicated questions where we analyze user behavior. We have anonymized screen recordings, for example, from different sessions where we see where people stick to a product or where the page is not loading or elements are not working.
Right.
It's a constant process. So it's a mix of manual work using external tools and a lot of internal data. So we can really visualize the whole customer journey, way down to which campaigns the customer had contact, and then how is he moving on the website. And we are combining this to the feedback the customer directly give us and offer the best experience possible, or trying at least.
How do you, I mean, I guess now you have a lot of outlier data, both on the customer feedback, I guess. I mean, at least on the negative side, because you cannot, because you said before, you could deliver pretty quickly, and now it's maybe a different issue, but also it's you can't really form a long-term strategy at the moment on the current data and feedback, right? Or can you? I mean, it's more of a
I
question.
would say we definitely can, because what we see is that when we analyze user feedback, direct user feedback,
Mm-hmm.
it's the grouping is nearly the same. We just see
Interesting.
the
Okay.
more critical customers we have, and let's say a typical supermarket customer who maybe, like the Swiss love to do, goes to the supermarket every day or every second day, but he never wanted to buy food online. These are the very critical customers, and they are
Right.
quite direct. Even in polite Switzerland, I'm German, as you can hear, but
Uh-huh.
it's, Swiss people are always polite, and wow, these customers are direct.
Uh-huh.
But it's still the same grouping of feedback, just the
Okay.
intensity on how they give this feedback increased. Like, just ask people working in the supermarket at the moment. It's politeness is not the best thing these days, but it's I would say that we are very good in channeling all that feedback, because it's it would be better, or a good example of the past week. So we were booked out. We didn't have we were always showing the free delivery slot in the checkout. So the normal process is that people come to the website, they have to enter their zip code, and this is not because we want to stalk them. It's simply because the products they see are connected to the zip code, so that their local assortment. So this is the first thing, and then they start shopping. And if you recognize your own shopping behavior, it's like, walking through the aisles and putting products, and then you end up
Right.
with, I don't know, 15, 20, 25, even more products in the cart. You spend quite some time collecting your cart, and then you go to the checkout, you enter your address and everything, and then you see your free delivery slots, because of course, connected to the products you have, there might be different deliveries. We are not storing fresh goods, so there are butchers that can deliver on Saturday, and then there are butchers that can't, because the food gets delivered on the day of your delivery. And this is something we had always to make the people understand. It's nothing we don't want to stress them. It's simply we have to do it like that. But in the times of crisis, where a lot of people came to the website, of course, an increasing number of people ended up in the checkout. Like you said, it's a pain in my heart when I hear that I'm talking now to you, a very digital online person, and who was not able to order at Farmy because there were no delivery slots, and it was after you finished your cart, I think. So we made up a landing page that offers overview on where are the free slots now. And this website is now linked to the zip code pop-up. Normally it was, enter your zip code and then start shopping and you end up on the website.
Right.
Now it's you enter the zip code and you land on the special landing page that shows the delivery slot for your region.
Okay.
Of course, we have frustrated customers that still don't see enough slots. But as of today, we are adding many new slots for next Monday and onwards. So, for example, we even opened up more resources, not only for returning customers and the special customers, but for all new customers starting from Monday. So I don't know what the status with the competitors is, but we are now in the situation that we can offer free slots starting next week again. And now people can already see it and can start ordering. So what happened is, of course, that the frustration level decreased, but also the internal process like customer care was relieved and stuff like that. And this is something we always planned to do. But because of the crisis, where we saw that this group of customers just complaining about this single feature suddenly increased, we said, okay, skip the other plans. We now do this first. It's just another order of how to do things.
Right. So basically, what if I understand you correctly, the the kind of feedback or the feedback buckets that you get, or feature requests that you get, they kind of stayed the same, but the order of priority changed.
Exactly.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay. And then so slowly getting to the end, do you have some like interesting stories now over the past, what do we say, 12 days that you would like to highlight, that made you smile or made you happy,
Yes.
that you would like to share?
Yes, of course. Like I already said, it's one thing is the performance of our team. Not only in my team, of course, because even though we are working mainly in home office now, I'm talking to you from my home office as well.
Yeah.
Hours increased in marketing quite well. So my team sticking up, but also especially operations and IT and customer care and purchasing. It's we are still a small team, but what these people do at the moment is just heroic. It's awesome to see, and they are not losing their patience. Everybody is still friendly. We are still a very nice team. Everybody is just working constantly on getting better. This is one thing, and the other thing is, of course, the appreciation we got from our customers from outside. It's I'm working in communication and marketing, and I'm the first one getting all the feedback in social
Right.
media. And when you see that people this possibility Instagram and the others offer to clap on stories, it's people are clapping and giving us standing ovations in social media and appreciating our work. And of course, there are critical voices that complain about, there are not enough delivery slots, and my delivery was late. But the number of people recognizing what our team is doing every day and showing the appreciation for that is heartwarming for me, and it really gives me the feeling that I have the right job, that I'm really changing something, and that I can take part in a very interesting and heartwarming business.
Thanks for sharing. Actually, since you now talked about a bit about also the person, how it personally touches you, how do you have some personal challenges? I mean, you mentioned kids, for example. I mean, how has your like personal life changed in terms of, I mean, we talked a bit about before this interview about it. I mean, you were traveling to Zurich more often and stuff like that, but is it more stressful to work at home with kids? Do you have more meetings? Like, what's your situation like?
Okay, so normally under the week I'm in Switzerland. I have a flat in Zurich, and then I'm commuting to our office in Lausanne, where I also have a marketing team. And once a week, I'm also in our office in Berlin, where we have some the performance marketing and design people working there. So I'm used to commuting, and this suddenly stopped. My family is in Berlin. This is where I'm currently. Schools are closed in Berlin as well. Luckily, first of all, my kids are very well behaving. So
well done, Dad.
Not an issue. And we also have our family network that helps us. So my wife and I are both working full time, and so we have the lucky situation that we can focus on our work. But of course, the number of calls increases, the number of calls outside of usual working hours. It's we are always used to work a bit more than usual, but now it's really first thing I do in the morning is check Slack. Last thing I do late in the evening is checking Slack, answering to questions from my team, or giving tasks to my team from management. We are all the management people of us. We have to really keep in close contact, and it is this whole isolation. I'm sitting now here from 8 o'clock in the morning until 10 p.m. and keep on working, sitting in my armchair. I don't even have an office in my flat in Berlin, because normally I use the time for spending time with my family. Now I'm sitting here with my laptop, working these hours over hours, and I'm totally isolated from the pulse of the company. So for example, what we do is we are doing online lunches now. We did it last week the first time, or once a week, the whole company, our IT, for example, is sitting in Barcelona. So the whole company is having a company lunch via video chat every Thursday. These video chats just increase now to really don't lose the contact to the rest of the team. This is the only very stressful thing, because I love to work for this company. That's not an issue. And my team, especially marketing, is very trained in remote work. You know, you cannot force creativity. So working from other destinations is part of it, and we are not sitting in the same office. So that's not difference. But this isolation moment is a challenge, an ongoing challenge.
Yeah, I think for all of us as well. I mean, we're kind of adapting. I sort of saw for myself that it's almost becoming the new normal a little bit. I've been at home for 2.5 weeks, pretty much. But thanks a lot for sharing. The last question: do you have anything that you would like to maybe tell other companies out there that you would like to leave us with during this time? Anything? Any last words?
It's analyzing trends and hearing customer feedback is the core of what I usually do, and it now is. I know that we are in a special situation at Farmy because people or sales is exploding, which doesn't meet every business out there, as we all know. But it's for us keeping close contact to the customers and to the trends and adapting fast and in an agile way is the best everyone can do. I saw so many interesting business ideas not just popping up, you know, from taxi drivers doing groceries for elderly people and all that, you know, that there are people who are really in need at the moment. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity, positive opportunity for businesses to help these people without just earning from the crisis, but doing something for everyone else that is in need, and businesses each other can help as well. And it's just adapting fast and not focusing on what's the problem, but solution-based work is the best thing everybody could do, I think.
I think that's great advice. Any kind of social profiles from yourself or from Farmy that you want to highlight? So Farmy is on farmy.ch, right?
Exactly. So of course, check out our website. We have a LinkedIn page. We have a Facebook page for Farmy.ch. We have Instagram. Check out what our team is doing. We are currently highlighting everyone working at Farmy. Feel free to send us feedback, or you know, I'm on LinkedIn. Feel free to connect if you have interesting opportunities at the moment. I'm personally not that active on social media. I focus on the company. But yeah, I'm appreciating every single contact I get, and it's challenging times, but there's a lot of interesting stuff we can do together in these times.
Actually, so you said you are hiring at the moment. Where can people find the open positions?
I'm currently relaunching the page, so I think 1 hour after the call it will be live. Okay. We are hiring couriers, pickers and packers. We are looking for an intern in purchasing. We are looking for help in customer care. So we are in some positions in marketing as well. So we are hiring at the moment in nearly every department. And in IT as well. So we're looking for a Linux administrator. So if you go to farmy.ch/karriere or /en/career, you can see the open positions. We have a join page where you can easily apply. So good point here. It's every application is warmly welcome. Please do understand if you apply that answers may take a while. because there are things to do at the moment, but still, yeah, good point. Farmy.ch/career karriere is the place to be.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Florian, for your time and your great insights and stories that you were able to share. And I wish you the best of luck for the coming months. And
yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you. And see you next time.
Cheers. Thank you.